There is a moment each leap year at exactly 3 minutes past 3 on the morning of February 29th. If you possess the courage, await that moment in a darkened room with no other present. At that moment, the darkness will deepen. If you were to hold your hand directly before your face, you would not see a thing. But you must not do so. No, for that would be to waste the moment. Instead, you must reach out into that impenetrable darkness, and it'll reach out to you. An unseen hand will grasp yours. You must not flinch away, nor tighten your grasp. To do so will only slow away more of the decrepit flesh that covers it, and anger its unseen owner. Remain perfectly still as the withered fingers move over your palm, tracing unknown patterns. Do not move an inch as it crawls slowly up your arm, and most of all, do not even breathe as it caresses your face, touching what cannot be seen. Should you remain still through this, the hand will be withdrawn and a voice will speak, so close you can feel its breath on your face. Smell the scent of decay it carries. It will ask you for one simple piece of information: your name. Answer truthfully. Answer truthfully, and the presence will retreat, leaving only a whisper in the air as the darkness lifts. It's done. From that day on, untold good fortune will be yours, and mysterious power. You will lack nothing and have everything. But in a year, perhaps 2, you will feel your skin begin to decay and smell the sweet smell of death upon your breath. Coffins used to be built with holes in them, attached to 6 feet of copper tubing and a bell. The tubing would allow air for victims buried under the mistaken impression that they were dead. Harold, the Oakdale gravedigger, upon hearing a bell, went to go see if it was children pretending to be spirits. Sometimes it was, also the wind. This time it wasn't either. A voice from below begged, pleaded to be unburied. "You Sarah O'Bannon?" "Yes," the voice assured. "You were born on September 17th, 1827? "Yes." "The gravestone here says you died on February 19th. "No, I'm alive. It was a mistake. Dig me up. Set me free." "Sorry about this, ma'am," Harold said, stepping on the bell to silence it and plugged up the copper tube with dirt. "But this is August. Whatever you was down there, you ain't alive no more, and you ain't coming up." You will never believe what I saw one very cold, dry November night. My family and I moved into a new house upon a hill on a little back road in the very small town of Fort Gay, West Virginia. Fort Gay sits right on the east side of Kentucky. The population of my town then was probably just a couple thousand. My family and I were unpacking. We had not yet put the furniture in its rightful places, and everything was still in boxes. Overwhelmed with working all day, I retired around 11 p.m. I put my little brother on the couch, and I took his bed since my bed wasn't put together yet. His room faces the front of the house. His window is about 20 to 25 feet or so off the ground. I was looking out the window when I saw it. It stood nearly 7 feet tall. I had no idea what it was, but I was frozen. I had never been that scared in all my life. All I could do was lay there and just stare at this thing. It was sitting in a tree about 50 feet or so off the ground, about 50 feet from the house across the yard. It felt like an eternity. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even blink. It had big, red, bright glowing eyes looking dead into my face. I finally worked up enough courage to close my eyes and put my head under the covers, when all of a sudden, this thing smacked the window. I went through the house screaming, "There's something outside!" I was crying. My mom and dad looked at me and said, "What's wrong with you? It looks like you have seen a ghost." My face was snow white and I said, "I don't know what it was, but please, Daddy, don't go outside." I begged and begged. He came back in and said there was nothing out there. I kept screaming, saying, "Yes, yes there is." When I explained to them what I saw and how I felt, they said I was crazy, but to this day I will not go outside by myself. And even in the days, someone still has to walk me to my car. I have heard of something pretty crazy things going on up on that road, but I never expected to experience anything myself. My husband and I went to the theaters and watched Mothman Prophecies. I was reliving that night all over again. The way they described feeling and what they saw was remarkable. My husband looked over at me and said, "Isn't that what you described to me when we first started dating?" I couldn't say a word. After that moment, I knew what I had saw. I believe in all my hearts of hearts I saw the Mothman. It's just a little weird. I only live about 80 miles south of Point Pleasant, where all that took place 37 years ago. It was exactly 32 years to the month when I saw it. Once in a little village not that far from here, there was a problem. Animals had started dying off one by one. In the morning, their owners would go out and see them laying outside with 10 holes in their chests. The people thought it was the work of the neighboring town. Then, one night, a man by the name of Fred was closing his store for the night. It was very late, and he was anxious to get home to his family. He shut off all the lights, then closed the door with a satisfying click. As he turned around to go to his car, he saw a dark shape in the distance. He stood still, trying to make out what it was. As it got closer, Fred turned to go. It was the last move he ever made. The next day, they found him with 10 holes in his chest. This made the town very worried. They were scared of more people getting killed. So, one night, 2 brave brothers, John and Jacob, went out to get rid of the problem. They each took knives and walkie-talkies. They said their goodbyes to their father and kissed their grandmother on the way out. The 2 boys decided to split up. One would go by the site of the murder, and the other would wander the streets. If one was attacked, they could use their walkie-talkies to contact each other. So they set off, keeping a close eye on the shadows. Nothing seemed to be happening. It was a calm night, and it seemed like there would be nothing at all and they would get home safely. But then, suddenly, John heard a crackling in the bushes behind him. He tried to call his brother, but it was too late. The figure leaped out of the bushes and tackled him, gouging his chest with its nails. Luckily, Jacob heard the commotion and rushed to help him. He leaped through the air and cut off the creature's right hand. The creature screamed and ran. Jacob took John to the hospital, and they bandaged him and sent him home. The doctors called them heroes, and finally they got home around 6 that morning. Only their grandmother was up, so they said good morning, then went back to bed. Neither of them noticed she was missing her right hand. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to, you can follow me at Twitter. The handle is @FuzzyPantaloons, and I'll see you all next time.